International negotiators will meet in Doha again today in an effort to hammer out a ceasefire deal as Israel continues to pound Hamas targets in Gaza. Palestinian authorities have said at least one person was killed after Israeli settlers attacked a village in the West Bank. Armed settlers reportedly attacked a village near the city of Qalqilaya and fired at citizens. One Palestinian was killed and another was critically wounded. The Palestinian Health Ministry has given these details. Israeli President Isaac Herzog condemned the attack in the West Bank. Israel, meanwhile, pressed its assault on Gaza. The Israeli Defense Forces claim to have struck over 30 Hamas targets. Now, Gaza health officials said that at least 6 Palestinians were killed on Thursday night in an Israeli airstrike on a house in Jabalia in northern Gaza Strip. Israeli troops earlier hit targets in the southern cities of Rafah and Khan Yunis.
Israeli Defense Forces troops continue to fight in Gaza, operating in Rafah, Khan Yunis, the central Gaza Strip, and are striking everywhere. So far, we have eliminated over 17,000 terrorists.
Israeli army has also released images showing what it says are strikes on Hezbollah targets in southern Lebanon. Hamas, who did not attend the talks in Doha, called Israel's continuing operations an obstacle to progress on a ceasefire, quote-unquote. Now, in a statement issued after talks resumed in Doha, Hamas official Hussam Badran said that any Gaza ceasefire deal must involve the total withdrawal of Israeli forces from the embattled territory. After Thursday's negotiations in Doha, Qatari Prime Minister Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman Al Thani spoke with Iranian leaders to update them about the progress in the talks. In another effort to defuse the tensions in West Asia, British and French foreign ministers will travel to Israel to call for an urgent ceasefire and a de-escalation in any wider conflict. WION's correspondent Jody Cohen spoke to former advisor at the PMO in Israel, Ruthie Bloom, about Netanyahu's stance on the ceasefire deal and what are the chances of Hamas accepting it. Listen to this.
I'm with Ruthie Bloom, a columnist and podcast host at JNS and a former advisor at the Prime Minister's office. Ruthie, we've seen a lot of criticism of Prime Minister Netanyahu, both within Israel and outside of Israel, with his demands for the negotiations. Do you see him agreeing to a deal?
Well, I see him agreeing to a potential deal, but nothing that is being discussed now. The conditions that he has set, they're already very generous, but there's no question that Hamas has rejected them, and that's why I don't see there being a deal, certainly not right now, even though they're negotiating in Doha.
So some people are saying that this could be the last window of opportunity that we'll see for a deal between Hamas and Israel. Do you see both sides coming to an agreement and compromising?
Absolutely not, and I see no window. The idea that somehow there's a window open and it's closing is ridiculous. And that is just a propaganda from the White House and from Egypt and from Qatar. So, you know, there's no window. Hamas hasn't agreed to anything except remaining in power. It hasn't even agreed to tell us how many hostages are alive.